Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today's Thursday. So we've got Johnny Litecoin jumping in to join us. He is with these crazy announcements. I was driving my son home from a what would that be? Well, it was a tryout for a Christmas play. And I heard this announcement that old Sleepy Joe wants to now make sure that, we're not cheating the who, one of the three-letter agencies. And so they want to watch every dollar that comes in and every dollar that comes out of your bank account. So our privacy is at stake here. And we're going to talk about some options that you guys might have. So be right back with Johnny after this. Hey, Johnny. Without getting us in trouble, as I was speaking those words, I was like, well, maybe I should have chosen a different opening line. But we want to give people options and safe legal ways to secure their future. And using some of these cryptocurrency tools, tech, and opportunities. And one of those that you were talking about is these decentralized exchanges, where you can have this opportunity. What does that look like for you? What are the pluses and minuses, I guess, in using a decentralized exchange?
Let me explain something before we go into the decentralized exchanges. So the invention of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin in of itself is a messaging app, okay? It's the world's most secure messaging app. You can send a message on the Bitcoin blockchain. You can send a message on the Litecoin blockchain. In the future, when they censor everything we do in the normie land, in the regular land, we're going to have to use all decentralized options. So even for, I think, text messaging and doing anything like that, you, instead of paying a cell phone carrier or a phone company, you'll have a decentralized application. You'll pay a tiny transaction fee for everything you do on your phone. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's where we're going. That's where we're headed. That's how we win, because that in these decentralized applications, there's no kill switch. So everything has to be rebuilt from the ground up. Everything is being rebuilt. We're seeing it right now with this DeFi movement. I mean, this is taking off. I mean, this is just absolutely exploding. Things like NFTs tie in with it, these marketplaces. But the decentralized exchanges, okay, these are really important to get to know how to use, learn about them. All right, I'm learning more about them every day. That's why I wanted to do this show today, just to share what I know, why they're so important. So I showed you guys a few weeks ago, we went through the the wand swap stuff and we did all of that, right? So I was showing you guys how to fund this to make money, to fund these pools, right? Well, by funding these pools, these liquidity pools, that's where all the trading goes through, okay? So besides for just trying to earn or make money from it, you also can use these tools to just trade your assets. So when you know how to use this stuff, why would you go back into a regular centralized exchange to do any type of trading? You really wouldn't unless you wanted to.
Are the fees higher on a decentralized?
Nope. So the trading fee is 30 basis points, which is 0.30%.
Okay.
So let me explain how this would work with the one that I've been using and providing liquidity to, that I really like, is this wand swap DEX. All right. And That's what we showed a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You can wrap your Litecoin through a cross-chain bridge that they built. All right. So you wrap your Litecoin, costs less than 2 cents to go through that bridge.
And that felt like doing a swap. If you've ever done a swap before, like when we were walking through that, to me, like they're calling it a different word, wrapping, but the technical or the layman's
So
kind of
what?
experience, it felt like I was swapping for another coin.
Right. It looks like a swap. It feels like a swap.
Yeah.
But you're just basically taking your Litecoin or any asset. I'm just using Litecoin because, again, Johnny Litecoin, your Litecoin, Lisa,
Right.
and Litecoin, the fees are very low to go in and out of this stuff. So that's, again, and it clears fast. So another big advantage for Litecoin. But you're basically just taking your Litecoin and teleporting it into another blockchain. So I think before we started the show, somebody asked, is there any non-Ethereum based options that are out there?
JDO.
Yeah, that's why I'm using OneSwap. I didn't want to pay the fees, the Ethereum fees, to use those dexes. So I'd never tried to do this before Litecoin was integrated into OneSwap, and until they built a cross-chain bridge for it. Because again, I was just like, well, the fees are really high, this and that. But now with the fees being really low, so you can move Litecoin in and out of this bridge for less than 2 cents, and you could do any trading you want in there for 0.30%. So the coolest thing is, once you're in that ecosystem, you can either send your value back out of there. So you can do a swap, and you can swap Litecoin into Bitcoin or Ethereum or other coins and then send those back out to a regular wallet address. Or you can keep them in that ecosystem. You also can swap in and out of dollars in there. US dollar Tether, US dollar coin.
There was some bad news about Tether today, that it's, and I don't have a source for it. I just saw a tweet about it, but somehow relating it that it's involved with that Evergrande. So I would be careful with that for people.
What's the deal with the Evergrande?
So Evergrande is like it's like Lehman Brothers.
Okay.
When we had our 2008 Lehman Brothers moment, Evergrande came out and announced that they will not be paying interest to everybody. And there was like this huge Chinese run on the bank thing. And you have to also remember, like, this is going to affect exponentially here in America because there's so much Chinese owned property. I mean, this is, go to Economic Ninja to have more detail, but it's huge for us.
I saw some stuff about it, but I didn't look into it at all. So I was like, and then you said it again. I was like, what? All right. So okay. So here's the good thing though about holding a Tether or US dollar coin when it's wrapped. You're not holding it on that blockchain. It's wrapped. So when you wrap a coin, if you wrap it on the OneChain blockchain, it's a OneChain based token. Okay. It's kind of like Ethereum, they're ERC20 tokens.
Okay.
These would, I guess, be like maybe like a WRC20 or whatever terminology they use. So the cool thing is, you can hold, if you want to hold dollars in there. I think the dollar is dying. I don't want to hold dollars, but some people do. And you could provide liquidity to lending markets in there. Make your 7 or 8% on your dollars, right? So if you want to lock in some value when crypto goes on a big run and you were like, oh, I was going to sell some in an exchange, I'd say, well, why don't you swap through a DEX into a wrapped US dollar coin or wrapped US dollar Tether, and then you could even put it to work and be making interest on it, and then swap back into Bitcoin or Litecoin whenever you want at your fingertips. So the whole thing with these decentralized exchanges, again, there's no kill switch on these. So
And
these
just
are
to let everybody know, like, I'm not being sponsored by one. I'm not being paid by one chain. Johnny just sees a lot of value in this, and he really wants to get this out to the community as an opportunity. Um,
yeah,
so this is, and not that I don't, the things that I do get sponsored by are only things that I believe in. And I get hit up by lots of things all the time. And I say, like, I'll get people to hit me up, especially trading bots. And I'm like, I'm not a trader. Sorry, I'm not going to take your money and promote a trading bot when that's not authentic to who I am and what I do. But
100%.
I just wanted to kind of, you know,
Yeah, and this is the coolest thing about this is you guys can use this two different ways. You can use this and say, hey, I want to earn some money from this, from people doing trades. Perfect. You can put some money to work in this ecosystem. Or you can say, hey, I just want to use it as a trading tool and I have to trade in and out of different cryptos. Use it as a trading tool. So you could use it multiple different ways. I'm not looking to trade out of cryptos right now.
right.
So my thing is my thing always that I was talking to you guys about a few weeks ago was use this to earn income. But then the more I was really like putting money into it and like putting money, messing around with the different pools, I was like, man, what a good way to swap. And then like once I saw like the lending markets in there, I'm like, wow, you could just then take your asset from the pool, put it in, then you could provide liquidity to the lending markets. And I'm like, you can hold dollars, you can hold Litecoin, you can hold whatever you want. You could send the value right back out through a bridge, right back to your own private wallet. So I just saw so much value for it. Again, the main reason why I like this DEX is because the fees are super. The fees to do the fees always 30 basis points, right? To do it if you do a swap in a DEX, that's standard for Uniswap or anything like that.
Okay.
But the gas fee, okay, like on Ethereum, we know the Ethereum gas fees make trading small amounts irrelevant because it eats away at all your profit.
Mm-hmm.
In one swap, you can swap $1 of value because the fee is 1/1000th of a penny, the gas fee. So you could do about 1,000 transactions in there. It's going to cost you one penny, and they clear really quick. So it's a really good ecosystem for doing this stuff.
Yeah, because I know when my husband and I are working on stuff, or whether we're moving crypto or swapping something, doing something, it is the most anxiety ridden moment when you're like waiting for that confirmation and waiting for the confirmation. So you saying that these transactions clear when you're, dealing with your future and what you're putting, your wealth into, being able to trust that DEX, that decentralized exchange, I think is really important. And then also, like you said, the low fees and then those quick confirmations. I think that all those things are really important.
And it kind of answered my, like, I guess like my thesis I've always had when these different products and second layers and cross-chain things came to market, that Litecoin was going to stand at the top as the resounding winner. Okay. So Litecoin having this deep liquidity, being a coin that was created from this proof of work mining. All right. So it's pure value. It's pure energy. And it emerges as the clear winner because I've showed other people how to do this stuff. And they said, all right, I got some Ethereum or Bitcoin. I want to move into here. And it's the fees are more expensive, obviously, because their fees to send the transaction, the fee to go through the bridge is more. So then they were like, hey, I might want to buy some more Litecoin to put into this ecosystem. Or I might want to buy another crypto, or they might say, hey, how do I get money into this ecosystem? I want to get involved with this, Johnny. I'd say, well, you have to buy a crypto and you could send it through the bridge. And Litecoin's the clear winner just because of the low fees, the liquidity, easy to get, easy to transfer. So that was always what I speculated, that Litecoin was going to kind of be like your like real like utility crypto and your home base, where you might go out and do all these crazy things and you're providing liquidity to these pools, or using your Lightning network down the line, or you're doing this, or you're swap. But Litecoin's always going to be the coin either you're settling into or you're transferring value back out through to go in and out of these bridges through. It only makes sense. Only makes sense.
There is so much happening with Litecoin. So I know we want to stay on DEX, but I think that with the noise that happened on Monday, with the fake announcement that all the or a lot of the news stations picked up that there was this supposed leak that Walmart was going to start accepting Litecoin, and like what Bloomberg, Reuters, or Reuters, however you pronounce that, NBC or CNBC. I can't remember all the channels, but there were a lot of like
Newswire or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of really big news stations picked up on it and ran with it. And you brought up a great point, and that's because it was so believable. And then we know, the Litecoin coming out with the smart contracts, stablecoin, and NFT functionality. And then I thought it was the way that Charlie Lee handled the Bloomberg interview, I thought was excellent. And it was kind of that, what's that saying that no news is bad news, or something like that, or all news is good news, or whatever.
Can
that
you go to my
saying is.
tweet too, Lisa? I put out a video right after this happened, and
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to play this for everybody just so we can because we got to talk about this. This was a huge event for Litecoin this week.
Yeah.
So
and then we have some good news that I think may have been triggered by this bad news too. So
hey, what's up, guys? Johnny Litecoin here. So it's an exciting morning for Litecoin. We saw a news story hit that there was a partnership between Walmart and Litecoin where they were going to be accepting Litecoin for payment, guys. So we saw the excitement of the Litecoin community, where a large retailer was going to let us pay with Litecoin, right? So then it came out that the story's fake. So I always say, guys, we always turn a negative into a positive, all right? Am I mad that this happened? I look at everything as an opportunity, all right? All news is good news. All press is good press in the long run. Some of the short term stuff hurts, right? Look at all the people that heard about Litecoin that probably didn't know what it was before this. So at the very least, there was exposure to Litecoin, and paying with Litecoin is the most important thing. So people that saw this news story immediately would connect Litecoin and payments together. So for me, that's an awesome thing, right? You always got to take the good out of a situation in life. You can be a pessimist or an optimist, right? You want to look at a glass half empty or a glass half full. You guys hung out with me and been watching some of my podcasts and stuff along. You guys know I'm an optimist, right? Look at the glass half full. That's how I roll, guys. So guys, let's not be discouraged by this Litecoin and Walmart news. Let's be excited about it that there was some more eyes on Litecoin, and look how excited everybody got that a large retailer is going to let us pay with Litecoin. In the future, the near future, we're going to be able to pay with Litecoin a lot more places. So I think these retailers that enable it should be super excited. They're going to have a lot of new customers, loyal customers. We're also going to get a lot of free marketing from all of us on crypto Twitter. So guys, that's my 2 cents for today, or I guess 2 Satoshis, as people would say in crypto. But that's it for today, guys. Peace.
And that's exactly what Charlie Lee did. He took every second of that Bloomberg interview, and he was like, she would ask something negative about, scams or whatever. And he was like, well, and Litecoin development. And he started talking about OmniLite. He started talking about, I think he called it Mimblewimble instead of MWeb. But he he used every second of that to promote the development of Litecoin, what was positive about Litecoin. I thought he did a really great job.
He did a great, phenomenal job on that interview. And it was, you came out after that interview being like, wow, what, you know, if you didn't know about Litecoin, you'd say, hey, I want to look more into this. This sounds,
and then Johnny, I think you're a little psychic because you said in the near future, I think this is going to lead to in the near future, other people seeing that Litecoin's for payments. And so Adam Aaron, who's the CEO, I guess, of AMC Theaters. He says, we've just announced that we will accept Bitcoin for online ticketing and concessions for payments by year end of this year, 2021. And I can confirm today that when we do so, we will also expect that we will similarly accept Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash.
I'm curious to see how they integrate that into their system and what they use.
PayPal or something, because those are all the ones that PayPal uses.
They could, well, I'm wondering if they go with something like Flexa. You used to be able to use Flexa at AMC.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
Not anymore. I don't think it's in there anymore. Right. So then what I speculated was maybe they might be building out their own integration and they might not have even so I'm curious to see how they integrate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exciting.
I thought it was all pretty good news.
And look, when this happened, I was on the phone. Monday mornings, I always get calls from customers from the weekend or somebody's system had a problem. So I was on the phone with somebody, their system's having a problem or they had a problem or whatever the deal was, right? So I'm going back and forth with them. And I put the phone on speaker and I opened up a crypto app on my phone and I saw Litecoin was at $221. And when I had woken up that morning, it was at like 174. And I was like, holy Christmas. I was like, whoa, like what on earth? And you know, it was exciting. And then I was like, I didn't even look at, I think I glanced at Twitter real quick. I didn't see nothing. And what happened was I did a tweet. I tweeted a price chart of Litecoin. And I said, wow, I said something big must be going down, like ... kind of thing. I kept the tweet up. I didn't take that tweet down. Mm-hmm. And then sure enough, 5 minutes later, I saw this news story breaking. And I was like, first I was like, what? Is this fake? Is this real? I didn't know about this. I was like, I kind of thought something with this. And then I thought something maybe with Flexa. They're going to pay with, but then when I read it, how the article was written, it just said pay with Litecoin. We've integrated Litecoin, an exclusive partnership. And I was like, whoa. And then it went, and then somebody called me. They said, they're talking about Litecoin on CNBC, this thing with Walmart. And then I looked at my phone and Zero Hedge tweeted about it. Reuters tweeted about it. I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, whoa, this is the real deal. And then it didn't last for long. Literally within 20 minutes, it came out that it was fake.
Right.
It was kind of a wild day, and everyone got all pissed off. People were furious, and they demanded an answer from the Litecoin Foundation, which...
But the Litecoin Foundation had nothing to do with it. This scammer or person put out a false report that then news stations went and jumped on and didn't do their research.
Right.
And put out. So why are people not mad at the news stations? Like, to me, it exposed the complicit mainstream media more than it did the Litecoin Foundation. That's like blaming somebody's whose house got robbed.
Yeah.
Well, your house got robbed. It's your fault.
Yeah.
You know, what? you know,
So it was,
that was
you know,
bizarre to me.
and then so a lot of people got mad. People were like, then maxis and stuff like Litecoin's a shit coin, they were saying, and this and that. I was like, what? And at the end of the day, the price was basically the same as when you woke up, maybe a couple dollars higher, right? So I was like, at the end of the day, it's like you went on a wild ride and they brought you right back down to where you
Yeah.
were.
Yes.
You went on a wild ride today. I said, and you're still doing a little better than you were when you woke up this morning. And where are we now 4 days later? Well, I'll give you a Litecoin price update right now as we speak.
Where are we? I was going to say
Litecoin price is at, it looks like the price went down a little today. We're at about $184 just about.
Which that makes no sense with the AMC news coming out.
We were at $195 before. So we pumped up a little before and then we kind of traded back down. But if we look at it and if we started Monday morning at 173, we're still $10 higher. I mean, that's not,
yeah.
So it's, what's it show on there? $184.49.
Yeah, 184.46 is what CoinGecko says.
Yeah. So it's, look, again, obviously this isn't financial advice, you guys. I'm not. Don't take your financial advice from me, please. Because we don't know your financial situation. Everyone says, well, how much Litecoin should I buy?
Yeah.
$20 to you could be the same thing as $20,000 to somebody else because of where you live, your importance, your age, just a number of different factors. So you look to us more for your tech advice. We can talk about using the wallets and that stuff, right? We'll explain to you how this stuff works. But personally, for me, just looking at the crypto market, when I would look at the top coins and if you look behind the scenes at the blockchain and the statistics of the transactions that they're doing, the volume that they're doing, what's being developed on the network and all that, compared to the price, Litecoin is extremely undervalued. And just again, the ratio of Bitcoin to Litecoin. So in 2017, when the bull run happened then, the ratio that year was hanging out around like 100 to 1, where one Bitcoin equaled 100 Litecoins, right? And then what happened was it went to like where it was like 150 Litecoins equaled one Bitcoin, but then it went all the way down to like 50, where one Bitcoin equaled 50 Litecoins, right? So look at that as a strong Litecoin compared to Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, a couple years later, we had the Bitcoin halving, we had the Litecoin halving already passed, and now all eyes are on DeFi and Ethereum and NFTs. The eyes are off of Litecoin. Personally for me, I look to buy stuff and get into stuff when it hasn't been pumped up, when it's more of an opportunity rather than, hey, this is so hot. It's up 1,200% in the last 2 months. I'm like, wow, maybe it's promising. I'm like, but it's really pumped
maybe
up.
The peak of it too. Yeah, they say that's when generational wealth is made, is when there's blood, when you're buying when there's blood in the streets. And that's what like Economic Ninja was saying the other day, that he was talking about like there's about to be this great buying opportunity in real estate and high end toys, and because the economy is just going to fail, the banks are going to fail, all this, people are going to be in trouble. And somebody said, gosh, that sounds terrible, like you're excited about somebody's misfortune. And he's like, no, it's not that. It's that I'm planned ahead and they're going to be in trouble and needing to get out of, and they're going to have an asset of something I want, and they're going to need dollars, and so something is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it at that time, or what you're willing to give it up for. So
It's the opportunity. And again, for me, my property that I love is Litecoin and Bitcoin. I love both forms of property.
Michael Saylor said today that Bitcoin is digital real estate.
It is. It is at 100. I was telling somebody this today too. It's digital real estate. It's encrypted monetary energy, right? Bitcoin comes from the earth. And I was explaining this to somebody today. I said, there's no limit to how high the price of Bitcoin is going to go because there's no limit to how much fiat currency they're going to create. So I was explaining that the price of Bitcoin could go to $100 million, but it won't be.
Johnny, it could be more than fiat. I mean, people could also trade other items or things for Bitcoin. That could be gold, that could be other assets for Bitcoin. So it's not just fiat currency that holds the value of or balances the value of Bitcoin.
You're 100% right. And but as they're killing the dollar and killing the fiat currencies, and you got Bitcoin, this digital real estate that people are waking up to the fact of this isn't going anywhere. There's only 21 million coins. It must be something. Wow, that's scarce. People like things that are rare and scarce. I want some. That's all there is. Well, I better go out and get me some of that, right? Mm-hmm. And now if they keep creating more fiat currency and you got wealthy people that are getting their hands on more fiat currency, what are we doing with this fiat currency? Because they're the ones that own everything. So now all of a sudden there's major inflation. They're making more money, right? What do they do with all this fiat? Well, some of it's going to flow into Bitcoin naturally. Naturally. It's just how life works. So Bitcoin will keep rising proportionate to how much fiat that they create. But it really is that it's your digital property. And think about what good property it is, Bitcoin or Litecoin. Again, Litecoin's a little more usable. So that's why I like Litecoin better, just for regular folks. But how you can move it around, how you can store it, how at any time you can liquidate whatever you have. So you're in these pools, or you're in this, or you're that. You're providing liquidity to a lending thing. You want to liquidate and say, I want out, right? You pull your liquidity right out. If you own a real estate, if you have equity in your property, you probably can't get your equity out of the house because they might say, well, we don't like how your income looks.
You didn't follow the rules.
You didn't follow the rules. And in the future, they're going to say, we don't like your social credit score. You can't do that. So we beat them by just doing our own thing and by opting out and by recognizing the better. And by 2030, you will own nothing and be happy, they say. And most people, this will probably be the case because they're gonna, let's face it, Social Security's done, Medicare is going to be done, right? So when those two things are done, you're going to have massive uprising. So they're gonna roll out these universal basic income, and then goods will get just more, and items and property will get just out of reach from the regular people, and it'll be all where less people own stuff and more people maybe are using stuff, but they don't have any ownership. They have no equity in it, and they're a slave to that system for life. So by opting out into Bitcoin or Litecoin, you're opted out into this encrypted monetary digital real estate that you're deciding to put your value in, your wealth into. And it's so usable. You can collect interest, you can store it, you can transfer it, you can send it, you can pay people, you can convert it right back into fiat if you want. I mean, if that's your that's your master fiat, if you want to do that.
Like what they're doing with in El Salvador, they airdropped $30 to all of their citizens, and then there's these ATMs all over, and they had Bitcoin, Litecoin. I can't remember the other coins that were available on the ATM, but I thought it was really interesting because I'm sure that the same time I got there's this coin tip or coin kit, something like that people can tip you. and I had gotten some tips of Satoshis. Well, I went to try to move them off, and I can't afford to move it off because it's like $5 of a tip. But if I move it off in Bitcoin, I can't afford the fee.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, these people, as they're experiencing receiving Bitcoin and then they go to the ATM to move it, are
The
they
nice,
like,
the
never mind, I'm
nice
going to
thing
pick
is
Litecoin instead?
they're using Lightning down there, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
So they are, that Chivo wallet, I'm pretty sure is Lightning enabled.
I think so. I think I
Yeah,
remember hearing that.
I'm almost positive it's Lightning enabled because I was reading something that
So
you
would that not
you
affect?
can send a remittance to somebody for 1 penny. So that has to be
Oh,
Lightning.
okay. Okay.
So, again, I want the stronger Bitcoin gets, I want Bitcoin to become so usable that you can use Lightning and it's easy to use. Litecoin's always going to be there, and that's only going to lift up Litecoin. It's just more use for the whole ecosystem. And, again, there's just so much value in having a coin, a proof of work coin that's closely tied to Bitcoin on the layer 1 that's scalable, that's fast, that's, settles faster than Bitcoin. You could handle more throughput, and you could be more risky. The other thing is that, that's the other big advantage. You can test stuff out on Litecoin and then bring it to Bitcoin. What a noble thing. What other coin is doing that? So people say, oh, Litecoin. I'm proud that they test stuff on Litecoin to bring it on Bitcoin. Hell yeah. This is to me, like being like a patriot. Where Litecoin is willing to test stuff. The holders are, and everyone's willing to test stuff out on this to prove, how secure Litecoin is, that, hey, we're testing out a Litecoin, you can't get to it thing, but then to prove to the world that you can't get to this, it's secure. Now you can bring it over to Bitcoin and do it. What a noble thing.
With that said, do you see at some point something like OmniLite with smart contracts and NFTs moving to some kind of development on Bitcoin like that, or the privacy like that we have with MWeb coming out on Litecoin?
Omni layer is already integrated into Bitcoin. The problem is, Tether already, Tether, that's how Tether works on Bitcoin, is through this Omni layer. All right. So that's the issue is, though, it's too expensive to use, because when you use the Omni layer, you have to use Bitcoin. All right. So then the fees were too much, and Tether became unusable on this Omni layer through Bitcoin. And that's so now their speculation is they're going to release a Tether on this Omni layer on top of Litecoin. And now you have Tether that's super usable with super low fees on the most secure blockchain out there, that with the speed. Obviously, Bitcoin's the most secure, but I say Litecoin's the most secure for most secure network that's good at transferring value, is what
So that tweet that I saw today that did not have any source with it could have been FUD against Tether, knowing that there's all this development with OmniLite, Litecoin, and Bitcoin, and Tether being used for that.
There's a lot of reason they want to FUD Tether. Tether is more of a threat to them than Bitcoin, a way bigger threat to the system. Most of the trading in crypto trading occurs on through Tether. It's not more so than Bitcoin even. So, and Tether, being a liquid stable coin like that, having that deep liquidity is they're way more worried about that than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, as Michael Saylor said, is your digital real estate. So I think everybody in a way stands to win with Bitcoin, the bad guys, the good guys, and who uses it, and let everybody use it. Let the bad guys use it. Let the good guys use it. And just as long as we all have the freedom to use it, is what counts the most. So that's the key. And I think the key is that, everybody has to store wealth and store value. So if they're ruining the dollar and the bad guys know it, they're going to want an option too to store wealth in. So they're also going to want a strong Bitcoin.
And if there's not Bitcoin, there is something else. The reality is that, you're not creating something that they're going to find. It doesn't get rid of bad or good people. You know what I mean? There's just, that's not going to be, tools don't end that.
No, but it provides more transparency and it gives you the option now. It gives you the tool to opt out. Bad people will try to use it against you. All right. But give you a great point. So you can, the best thing about what I love about crypto is that it's the complete opposite of the regular monetary system. The regular monetary system, the people have to go to the banks for the money. The banks get their money from the central banks, right? Since 1971, money is debt. Every dollar created has debt attached to it, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we don't get any interest whatsoever as the people, all right? Now in this crypto world, it changed things. They have to come to us for the liquidity. We get to provide liquidity to these liquidity pools for these decentralized exchanges. It only works if we, the people, support it and provide the liquidity, right? Bad guys will just rather the centralized system. Let them, they'll hold your assets and they'll pay you some interest. You know what I mean? And look, those are good options too. I'm not saying everyone doing that's the bad guys. But I'm just saying, trust me, the bad guys will get involved with that if they're not doing it already. Trust me, in the future, they'll want your crypto. And then when they're holding it, they'll tell you if you can get it back or not. So the wildest thing is, though, we have the power in this crypto world. So turn the financial system upside down. So that's where it gives us a tool now when it's not like, no, this system, the whole lending markets are all based on collateral. That's how it was in the good old days. Every dollar coin in here is not debt. It actually, somebody has ownership of it. It's providing liquidity. People still think in their mind, you deposit money in the bank and now the bank has that money to lend out. That's not how the bank works. That's not how the bank works anymore after 1971. Dollar's not backed by gold. Money is debt. So it's that's the beautiful thing. Like you said, there's always gonna be bad people, Lisa, but we use these tools to beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I know we are getting shorter in time. I wanted to bring up, we've got the meetup coming up next weekend. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm going to be going on Pimpy's channel tonight to do a video. We're going to hit up his community. So if you guys haven't got your tickets yet, get your tickets for Dallas. Open bar. We're at a beautiful, beautiful building there with overlooking the skyline in Dallas. And there's all kinds of restaurants and bars and stuff all around there. It's a Legacy West entertainment district is what they call it. So we'll be there for happy hour. And then my guess is we'll all kind of like break off and hang out or find things to do afterwards. And then the class is the next day, the Crypto 101 class that Westwood is teaching, and I'm helping. And so you guys join us for that. Get your tickets. You do have to have a ticket. Do not expect to come to the building. They have security, and we have to have the list of all the guests turned into security at least 2 days in advance. So we'll be turning ticket sales off 3 days before the event. So you have to have your ticket in advance or you cannot come in. Not my rules, but the event center's rules. So I don't want anybody to show up and be disappointed that they couldn't just pay at the door. That was one of my concerns.
Get your tickets in advance, guys. Yeah. And let's
Yeah,
announce.
go ahead and yeah. So Jersey, super excited about Johnny. You want to tell them about we're changing the date. Originally, my birthday's October 21st. We were going to do it on the 22nd, but my deadbeat ex-husband, I have contempt charges, and our final court date is on the 22nd. I got to give him a jab every time I can. So, and it looks like he's going to be facing that final court date. So we are having to reschedule for October 15th. So we'll be doing the New Jersey meetup on October 15th. And people were asking, because I guess there's multiple airports in New Jersey, and they're trying to make their plans. So we wanted to go ahead and make an announcement to go to the more northern.
Best there. So it's going to be at a place called the Doghouse Saloon. It's in Washington Township, New Jersey, which is by Paramus, New Jersey. So best airport, you can fly into Newark if you guys are flying into town. But Doghouse Saloon in Washington Township. So
we have a little puppy. Yeah.
Well, we heard a dog in the background. So you guys are going to love this place, a good American business and place. And this is a good old school place, the kind of place that we all love. I talked to them, guys. I told them about Lisa, how you're doing the
Bet on Main Street.
Bet on Main Street. They were like so excited. They were like, "Oh my God, like thank you so much." Like there it goes right there. Yeah. Doghouse Saloon and Grill. They got awesome thing is actually we luck out. Sometimes everything going on, the bad turns into the good. So because they got shut down last year, businesses were allowed to put big tent setups that they weren't normally allowed to put up. So they're still allowed to have it because they got grandfathered in with it. So now they have a huge tent set up, tables and chairs. So tons of outdoor seating as well. So we'll have a good time. That night, food's great. And
that looks awesome. I've been dieting and I've been fasting during the day and then drinking water all day. And then I've been doing my dinner, and then I have cut back on my Tito's. So I'm like, okay, do not show me that kind of big burger a mile high.
Get off of your raw food cleanse before you come to this thing.
Yeah.
All right?
I will not be on an Amy Weir food cleanse in Jersey for sure. Well, I'm excited about that. So that's October 15th. That'll be the next event. Just want to give everybody a heads up. And and Public says you can hit him up if you need help getting around Jersey, the venues. Oh, so you can Uber everyone, I guess.
And the best thing about Jersey, guys, is that, Jersey's actually, don't let them fool you on TV. Or Jersey, the state government, they're woke and they're idiots. But Jersey's got a lot of good about it, too. So one cool thing is you could take Uber anywhere. So if you don't have a license in Jersey, Uber will pick you up in 3 minutes, bring you wherever you want. Cheap because it's Jersey's very like suburban or whatever. And, people got a lot of pride in Jersey, too. I always say Jersey was the only state I know that didn't have any riots last year during everything was going down. And you'd think, how could that be? Because people have pride in Jersey where they live at and stuff. And in different communities you go to, different ethnic groups live there. They're not letting people wreck their stuff. No.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm proud, as much as I'm like, I'd like to move to a different state. I'm proud of Jersey for a lot of the people. So it's like, we stay here and fight for now. And we fight these lunatics and maniacs. And we do it through teaching the people like what you guys are doing, showing the people how to use Litecoin, use cryptocurrency, show them financial freedom, talk to people about Bet on Main Street. This is how we win.
Yeah, I agree. I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Glasswalker. He is the talented individual who did our logo for the Happy Hour Roadshow. If you guys aren't following him on Twitter, follow him on Twitter. He does these amazing cartoons where he takes audio clips of some of the YouTube interviews. He did one that I did an interview with Chris Marcus, and he took an audio clip of him and then did this cartoon character version of Chris Marcus. He's done a couple of Uncle Cliff. He's done Arcane Bear. I can't think of all the other ones that I think he's done Snippy. I don't know if he's done Bix or Ben yet, but anyway, really talented individual and a friend of mine. So thank you, Glasswalker, for doing that for us. So I'm excited about next weekend. I think it's going to be amazing. We've got great food, an open bar, hors d'oeuvres. Pimpy's going to be there. Westwood's going to be there. Mitch from Crypto Campfire podcast and Mitch's Motivational Mondays is going to be there. Let's see. My hubby will be there. I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, John Kim's going to be there. We're just going to have a great time. And so Jim Flanagan said he would be there. Tom's going to be there. Hopefully Trini Man's coming. It's his birthday around then. So we'll see if he'll make it as well. So looking forward to that next weekend. And Johnny, thanks for teaching us about DEX. I think it's, like you said, now is a time for learning before we're in a crisis where we feel like we don't have an option. So this is a heads up to everybody. Take the time, do the research, and empower yourself. This is how you have freedom, is by investing in yourself and taking that personal responsibility. So.
And guys, DM me. I always say my DM's always open for technical questions on how to do stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you, I don't know what to buy, what to sell, what to do this. But if you say, hey, Johnny, how do you use this product? How do you do a transaction? I'm your guy. I want to help you guys. That's why I wanted to build credibility on Twitter in the first place, was so I can help the Litecoin community. And this is all how we win, by just helping each other and with this decentralized stuff. So thanks for listening in today, guys.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, take care and remember to love one another.